I don't care how small it is. I would have friends that would tell me like, Alyssa, don't you think it's a little bit too harsh? Like maybe just talk to him about it. Talk to him about what? So he can finesse me about my damn good thinking? Talk to him about what? I saw the action. I saw the pattern. So conversations are also this really big trap that I see a lot of people getting. Yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation with him. I'm gonna have a conversation with her. For what? All it's gonna be is an attempt for this person to save face. Welcome back to my channel. Alyssa here, ready to drop another little gem. So today I want to talk a bit about character, right? And being a better judge of character. Because how many times are we like, oh my God, I didn't see the signs, or, this didn't work out. He broke up with me. I'm so sad. Oh my God. We're really genuinely shocked at people and how they behave. Overall, I just want this video to be a foolproof way that we can see through people's elusive intent, right? Where we don't really quite know what's going on, what it's giving. And it happens a lot in relationships, right? Especially like romantic relationships that we try to pursue. So now you guys know that I'm very big on analogies, right? So I have one, it's a little grim, but that's just the best thing I can find. So for example, stage 4 cancer versus stage 1. Stage 1 is very small. We don't even know what it is. We can't even diagnose it as cancer just yet. And that's kind of how we need to see and view people and their character, right? So for example, what stage 1 would look like when you're dealing with, let's say you found you a new man. Okay, he's real cute and everything is going well. You think, this is it. I found my man. I'm taking him off the market. You're not. Okay, but for all things being equal, we're like, okay, he's a great guy. But you notice that he doesn't text back sometimes, or you're getting a lot of I'm busy text messages. You're seeing some odd things. He's telling you he wants commitment, but yet you see him being overly friendly or entertaining other women. You're starting to get wind of that some way, somehow, whether people are telling you. You're seeing his social media behavior, because that's the thing. People like to make light of it, but social media is very real. But that you're ignoring because you're waiting for that to develop into a stage 3. Now at stage 3, right? If we're keeping the cancer example, now we got a problem. Houston, we have a problem, because how that relates to the relationship is your feelings are involved. You're more invested in this person, and you're more liable to give them the benefit of the doubt because he's your baby or she's your baby. So how could I leave you? I don't want to leave you. You've told me this. We've had this experience. You've been amazing to me. It's just these few things. It's just these little things. But it's those little things that we keep ignoring as both men and women, right? That metastasize and turn into stage 4. And where there's nothing we can do at that point. Now you done had the baby. Okay? Now you done got married. Now you moved in. Now you're somehow tied to this person. People talk about soul tie. Now you got the soul tie going on. Now the breaking away from him or her is exponentially much more difficult than it would have been had you cut this off at stage 1. Now let's get into the steps. How do we know what stage 1 is giving? We got to stop giving people the benefit of the doubt. Right? My tolerance is none. No tolerance. Of course, we should have some tolerance, right? But what I mean by that is I'm very big on patterns. People generally don't act out of character, or it's like, oh my gosh, let's say, for example, somebody stood you up on a date. That's not necessarily a one-time thing. They could say, I'm so sorry that happened. Let's make it up. And you guys may go on another date. But I would have that in the fore of my mind. I may not ever I probably wouldn't deal with that, just me personally. I probably wouldn't deal with that person again, because that's just a red flag. That is a telltale sign that you didn't even take the effort of communicating with me. You didn't let me know what was going on. Something tragic better have happened. I hope not, but that's the only thing that would stop me from communicating with someone. And of course, not everybody's like me. Not everybody's like you. However, we do need to hold people to a certain standard that they must adhere to. And if they can't, that's fine. There's no reason to be mad, point fingers, and do the blame game thing, because that's how you become bitter and hardened. We don't want that. We want to age gracefully, be very light, loving, sweet, soft. And so we can't really allow certain things that people are not doing to harden us. And what you do when you do become hardened, and when you do become bitter, and when you do become upset, is when you start to internalize people in their shit. This person who you were trying to judge their character, and now you're in this effed up relationship 3 years later, 6 months later, or even like this whole message extends beyond relationships, jobs, friends, romantic relationships, all that. But there were signs and small symptoms that you chose to ignore. We cannot ignore that. If somebody's not responsive, that's how they are. And that's okay. That has nothing to do with you. But you start taking it personally when you get to stage 3 and the stage 4 cancer, because we've hugged and we've had such wonderful exchanges. And I know you've told me your sadness. You've told me your story. I know your story. I know where you come from. I get it. I understand why you are the way that you are. So you kind of have a greater threshold for that nonsense. But what's happening to you is you're becoming hardened. You're no longer sticking up for yourself. You're becoming unrecognizable. There's a depleting that's happening to you that you don't really understand until it's too late. So that's why I really urge, and seriously, because I know I laugh and play, but seriously, when things in the stage 1 and it's not lining up, it's not giving, and it's just the little things, cut that off. Cut that off. There's no need, like, okay, you know how, especially us women, when we're in a relationship and we need to heal, like I know for me, when I was in a long-term relationship, I didn't date, I didn't do nothing except for like focus on me for like over a year. Like I'm talking about nothing, no dating, phone dry as the desert, everything dry as the desert. That's just how I felt I needed to move. I'm not a serial relationship person. I like to fully make sure I'm good because I don't want to bleed on anybody else. So I say all that to say, we have to make sure that we're really focused on what we can control in situations like that. Because then you get to the point where now you have to heal. Now you scarred somewhere. Heartbreak does not have to happen. It really doesn't. And I don't know. Let me know down below if you think it has to, but I think as you mature and as you understand human nature and you stop taking shit so personally, you start to realize like, wow, it's unnecessary for me to be heartbroken by this man or woman. And by that, I mean, cut the shit off early. Right? Just like cancer, you got to take care of that early. You see a weird rash, a little lump. Shout out to all the women who get our mammograms, always do our little checkup since we are given the analogy of health, right? But nonetheless, if we would have check that out and put that under a microscope, we would have seen, this may turn into something, I don't know, but just to err on the side of caution, let's go ahead and take care of this now. So that way, 4 years down the line, we don't just, somehow end up gone. That's how we need to view relationships. It is a serious matter. You need to take yourself seriously and do not play about yourself. Don't let anybody play with you either. And I think the way that again, like what has helped me, like after I had probably 2 long-term relationships, but after that, like the people, the people that I maybe casually dated and then saw that we were incompatible, I haven't been heartbroken by them. I haven't had to heal. I haven't had to go through, I'm not going to act like I haven't been sad or haven't missed them, because I would be straight up, I would be lying to you. Yes, of course I have. But there's also that other side of my brain that intervenes in that same thought, in that same breath is like, wow, wait, Alyssa, but look, you're not missing out on a thing. A lot of times we think we're missing out. You're missing out on heartbreak. You're missing out on resentment. You're missing out on being let down. If you were to, if your intuition is telling you something, and why do you think it's telling you something? Why do you think you feel off? Why do you think you sense that? Because it's good? Usually that comes with some sort of peace. Now, I'm not talking to the woman who is so battered, right? Or is so damaged to where even when somebody's good to you, you don't even know how to receive that, right? That's a different video. But I'm talking to the women or the men who have a good sense of self, generally healed, right? Because we'll never be 100% nothing as long as we're living. And you understand what human nature is, and you understand how not to take things personally. You cut them off. I don't care what you thought it was going to be, what you thought it was going to be with her or this job or this romantic situation or this family member. But if it's not right in the beginning, it's only going to snowball. So for me, I've been able to avoid heartbreak that way. I'm talking about I avoid heartbreak like the plague. I just don't want us to have to go through that. I don't want you to have to go through a stage of healing where you're damaged and I can't love and I still got ties to this person. We're not doing that. Let's leave that with that last person. Let's leave that with our older self. Let's shed that skin. It's time to be done with that. Right? So that's the overall message that I wanted to give about how we can judge the judge the person. Remember the stage 1 and the stage 4 example I gave you. I don't care how small it is. I would have friends that would tell me like, Alyssa, don't you think it's a little bit too harsh? You know, like maybe just talk to him about it. Talk to him about what? So he can finesse me about my damn good thinking? Talk to him about what? I saw the action. I saw the pattern. So conversations are also this really big trap that I see a lot of people getting. Yeah, I'm gonna have a conversation with him. I'm gonna have a conversation with her. For what? All it's gonna be is an attempt for this person to save face. Because they already showed you. They showed you. What more do you need to see? They showed you. So I'm not into the conversation thing. Like, I used to think like perhaps I am a little bit too cutthroat. Perhaps I do need to give people a little bit more of a chance. But as I started to really understand why I've been in such a free-flowing place in a romantic sense, I've stuck to that. I really have stuck to that. That's my methodology, and that's what has led me to success. I mean, for some people, it's like, first of all, you're not successful because you're single. All right, but I'm single and not heartbroken. I'm single and don't have no ties. I'm single and I'm flourishing. Okay, my skin is glowing. I'm eating well. I work out sometimes. All right, like my edges are back. I'm an entrepreneur. I take care of myself. My character is I love my character. I love the woman that I'm becoming, right? So I deem myself successful. And I think that when my person does come into my life, I will easily recognize that person. And I think you will too once you start to realize how to cut something off sooner than later. Let's cut it off. Let's be done with it. Okay, so let me know if you've extracted any value from this video. Let me know how you think, like, if you think like, you need to give people chances. Because maybe I could be wrong, right? Nothing that I say is law. I could be wrong. I could find out years down the line when I got 10 cats and, living in a very dark home with black walls. Then I'll, reconsider some things. But as of now, I feel like, this works for me. So let me know what you think, if you agree or if you have a differing opinion. I'm just really eager to know what that is. So again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.